human getting out and then closing the hatch. So he said there is an underground base right under us here, and those craft are coming out of that underground base. And he thought that they were operated by the military. He said but there are these strange human-like beings that he's run into there in his town, and he doesn't know where they come from. But that may be what these aliens look like who are living in that area. They are very human-like.
Yeah, I can compare notes with that. I guess, Teresa, can I expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, just as long as you realize that you said you were co-hosting tonight, so just be aware of everybody else's time, because Tommy and Janet and the Mad will let them all question as well, and then we'll go to the next person. In other words, if you want to question Bruce or add yours, however you want to do it, but just get in a rhythm for everybody.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. On the aliens, they actually can be invisible. This has been even said by one of your academia buddies in Oxford, who actually said aliens can be invisible and move around at will. I believe that because they come up to my bedside, and I felt them against my side, and they actually grabbed my foot, and I didn't see anybody doing it. And I had a buddy who we went to a convention together, and he stayed at my place to rest up before he finished his trip up to northern Illinois. And he said something rubbed his feet twice. He looked at it, and he said it was nothing there. And he said it wasn't a ghost because he'd been in ghost studies. He said nothing ghostly that ever happens to. So they could be invisible. They can cloak their crafts, so why can't they cloak themselves? Just wanted to add that. I guess Tommy, is next.
Yeah, whether we're adding we need to decide on the Q&A. So with you and Bruce both being new, Tommy and I and Janet are accustomed to running the radio shows. But Tommy, do you have questions for Bruce or for Dave, since we're building an archive?
Well, you're breaking up a little. Yeah, Bruce and me go way back. We've been friends for about 26 years. And Bruce used to come out with Stargell 18 and I up at the Barnacle Vortex once in a while. Bruce, I know you've been traveling and everything, but what do you feel is like the most critical, important thing right now that we can do as a human race about this whole situation?
About the aliens, you mean, or about climate? Okay.
No, about the aliens. About the aliens.
We can't do anything. They're the ones who are calling the shots, and the government has been reluctant to release very much information, although they have recently released a lot more than they have in the past, and the government appears to be trying to educate the public and prepare the public for an even greater disclosure. But I don't think it's going to be a disclosure by the people in the government. I think they're going to be tight-lipped. I think it's going to be the aliens who make showings, and just like they did for those Navy jets and buzzing them, hundreds of these Tic Tacs. They're going to be doing that over and over and over again over our cities until people cannot deny their existence. And then the people will call upon the government to do something, but the government can't do anything. As they said on those shows, Unidentified, was Elizondo and DeLong, if their technology is so far in advance of ours that they could wipe us out or take over our countries at any time they wanted. And I think this is true, that we're at their mercy. And that's all. I think the public needs to be aware of this. And if the public wants some answers, the investigative authorities in the government are going to need to be funded to a great extent, much more than they have been, in order to try to find out what's going on and try to match their technology. We're getting very close to that, from my conversations with different physicists and theoretical physicists and aerospace physicists, we're very close to understanding what is going on, how they're able to operate the way they do, and in apparent defiance of our natural Newtonian laws of physics. So we're only going to be able to do that if there is a concerted effort by scientists, and scientists are the key to this, to be allowed to study these phenomena in our universities, okay? And to stop all of this nonsense about ridicule and telling scientists that they can't work on these projects or get funding for these projects.
Well,
that has to be a major change.
I want to just add something to that I know of facts which aren't out publicly anywhere. My brother was a scientist in the Army. We have technology right now, which we had in Vietnam, that could take out a whole army in like 5 seconds, and they don't use it. It's called chemical weapons. The U.S. government has secret weapons, and I know we actually had 2 wars in space with alien races, and we had 3 wars on planet Earth with alien races. The United States knows how to take down reptilians, and they know how to take down the Greys. So I don't look at them as a trouble to the planet as far as trying to attack us and take it over. But in the interim, we need to know what we can do as people, because I'm protected. I can't be abducted. Don't ask me why, but I know it for a fact. But the people that I work with that have been, and when I work with them, I'm talking about abductions and people. And I'll tell you this, aliens cannot abduct spiritual people. It's impossible. Because if their higher energy, their light is much brighter than them, it would burn them away. They can't get near those kind of people. So my suggestion, and the only thing that I feel, is people need to become much more aware and start working on their spiritual truth rather than their mind. I mean, creating a base, creating cities and all that is not going to help either way. It's not going to help the aliens, and it's not going to help us. But the government doesn't care about people above ground. That's why they built underground cities. So, I mean, I know a few people that are going underground, that have a house built down under there and everything. But you have to realize, why is the government so secret? Because they can't expose that truth. But as people, the truth's there. You can find out underground cities, where they are and what they're doing. But see, nobody wants to dig into what they call conspiracy theories. And a lot of the conspiracy theories are just talking about ships in space. I mean, I knew that when I was 6 years old. So, I mean, yeah, some people are just getting ready to learn that. So I think it's time for people to get more aware, find the facts, and start putting them together to see what, as an active race, we can do with that. Back to you, TJ.
Okay, thank you. Now let me Janet, get ready. I'm going to let Mad, because he's always sort of short on Q&A. Mad, would you like to ask Dr. Cornet or add anything to that before I turn Miss Janet on here? Mad?
Well, kind of one for each one of them.
Sure.
One, I guess, would be for Bruce is the alienologist.
Bruce?
Well, I would say I'm just a scientist that is studying the phenomenon. I don't like the term ufologist or alienologist in the sense that I am a scientist, and I try to deal with these situations as a scientist.
Well, now, do you find that more of them are more people that report these aliens? Are they friendly, or are they more anti-human?
Well,
I'm not sure how to phrase
it. It ranges. I mean, there are people who have had horrific experiences with them during abductions, and others who have been treated very well, especially the contactees. I hear stories from them that they are only trying to help us and educate us, etc. Whereas the ones that do intrusive operations on people, they're interested in using people on Earth for their own agendas. I mean, I have implants that were put in me in order for them to know what I'm seeing and where I'm going at any time. In other words, I've been on their leash, so to speak, for decades. But right now, those implants don't seem to be working very well anymore. Back in the 90s, they were working all the time. And so I would be getting telepathic information and visual downloads and all sorts of stuff that would be related to my interests and research. And I would know when I needed to go up to Pine Bush and drive up there from Red Bank, New Jersey, and do all of this. But all during most of that time that I was out in the field, I wasn't abducted. I wasn't abducted by those who were living underground in the Wallkill River Valley. I wasn't abducted by any of the Greys or of the other types, except the last abductions I had were in February 1995. And after that, I've been pretty much left alone, which has given me the feeling that I'm either protected or they don't want anything to do with me.
All right. I forgot my other question. Sorry.
Dave Emmons for Dave. You wanted to ask Dave, the journalist?
Are you the one in New York?
No, I'm in Illinois.
Illinois, okay.
Yeah, Dave came on last Thursday, and Dr. Bruce came on Wednesday with me. I think you helped me on both occasions on Thursday, and you. So, any other questions for either of them?
Who was the one that was taking pictures in New York?
Go ahead.
Who was the one who was taking pictures in New York?
Dr. Bruce Cornet. He's worked with Tommy on several things outside of New York, in Montague area, I believe. Isn't that right, Dr. Bruce?
My connection's really bad. I'm only catching about half the words. So.
Okay.
I'll just let y'all go.
All right. Well, Janet is on here now. Janet, I know you're going to have Dr. Bruce as a full life story interview on Aquarian Radio soon. He has a lot of intelligence and training.
Sunday with us on Revolution Radio, and I need you to email me your stuff, Bruce. But let me ask both of you. Well, first of all, Bruce, I worked at Penn State University. I lived in State College for what was that, from '89 to '93. I ran the Penn State UFO discussion group during that time.
Really?
And there was a very active UFO community. Yes, and we had Linda Moulton Howe as our speaker. We had 600 people from all over that area come to Penn State to listen.
That was before I actually got involved in all of this stuff, just before, because I started to get involved in 1992. So if you were, and I left Penn State in 1977. So we weren't there at the same time.
No, we missed each other. But it's a great little town. My husband's family at the time were the Smiths, so they had Smiths Park, and they owned all those buildings. They were when I was living there, it was like I was Penn State royalty. I felt very awkward. It was like, what? Yeah, you're one of those Smiths. Anyway, that didn't last very long after I got involved with all the UFO stuff, because that's not very when someone's pretty conservative and their wife is being taken at night. Actually, I don't consider myself an abductee. I just go on board ship at night. But one night they took him, and after that kind of our marriage went kind of downhill. He didn't like that at all, and he struggled with that because he was very conservative. He didn't believe it. He was even an agnostic. I don't think he was an atheist, but agnostic. But so I and TJ are both lifelong contactee, experiencer, ambassadors. So I've been cataloging all this, and these are the ambassadors where we come to the earth. We have a mission. We're interacting on a conscious level. We do have some memories blocked, but it's pretty easy for us to get it back, just a little bit of hypnosis. And then we have ongoing contact to this day. So I have experiences at night